I used to be an enabler. I used to believe, listen, engage, fund, agree, worry, cry, beg, drop everything, scramble, roll over, open my home, my heart, and my wallet. I used to think I could save. I used to think that the addict would change if enough love and trust was shown. I used to think that I was separate from the addict, the answer to the addict's prayers and the cure for their disease, until the day I recognized that I wasn't separate at all, and that I was the other half. I was an addict too. Addiction is swarmed by darkness, and one can feel that if they just show the addict the light, the darkness can be destroyed. As an enabler, you feel like the light. You believe you're the light because you have answers and ideas and plans to save someone from drowning in their addiction. But addiction is more manipulative than one can fathom. While someone is in active addiction, the enabler is as well. Addicted to the highs and lows, the comforting and the chaos, the breakdowns and the breakthroughs. Addicted to the fixing of problems, to the creating of plans and actions. Addicted to the idea that they will be the one the addict changes for. Idealism fuels the enabler, the same way the drug or behavior of choice fuels the addict. The same way the addict always finds a way to get high, the enabler always finds a way to be a cushion when they fall. Dealing with an addict or alcoholic is tricky. It plays on everything that captures our attention, as addictions do. It becomes all-consuming and has us jumping through psychological and emotional hoops. Helping seems the obvious answer. How can you not help someone you love? Isn't that part of loving someone? Isn't that part of being a good person? Of course it is. So we step into the darkness on false pretenses. We step in believing we are the light that will save them. And so here we are, now attached energetically, mentally, and emotionally. Our ego having us thinking we are the savior, while not realizing we just added ourselves to the souls that need to be saved. Enabling is the other half and not the better half that we are led to believe. We simply stepped into the sinking boat while holding all the answers and ideas on our backs. Explaining, begging, crying, hurting, enlightening, educating, wishing and praying for the addict to come back, all while the boat we are both in is drifting out to sea. The view is distorted, foggy, and you feel like you are still on land. Watching an addict pour water into a sinking boat while you tell them all that is waiting for them if they just come back to shore. But addiction knows what it is doing. It knows you're both out at sea. It knows because it is connected to you, sunk into you, and recognizes its mirror image. It engulfs and feels powerful because it knows it officially has control. It will keep you focused on the eyes and the heart of the addict, so you can't see that you left the shore. You can't see that you too are surrounded by the dark of night. It has you believing you are the light, that you are the rock the addict has to lean on, so they do not fall. But the fall is the only way out. It is the only way home. The fall is self-awareness, accountability, and self-acceptance. The fall is admitting that we are addicts as well. That we are not better than or different than or even know any better than the addict themselves when we have fallen trap to the role of the enabler. Addicts will typically use the statement, "All I have to rely on is myself," usually to make others feel guilty for not continuing to enable. The big secret is they are correct. This is true for every one of us. It is up to us and only us to rely on and take care of ourselves. It is the only true way to sovereignty. This makes the statement true for the enabler as well, as they are waiting for the addict to save them. While in active enabling, the addict is the only one who can make the enabler's work complete. The addict is the only one who can stop the tears from falling and the worry from continuing. But if the statement, all I have to rely on is myself, is true, and these two are one and the same, then the same rings true for the enabler. All you can do is rely on yourself. It is up to you to recognize where you are drifting from shore. It is up to you to see where you are drowning with the ship. It is up to you to find the light after recognizing that you have been engulfed by the same darkness. It is up to you to ask and accept help to get home. The path to light is hard. You will be attacked by the same guilt, shame, and pain that the addict feels. These emotions and pain will seek blame and have you tripping over this blame on the way out. You will fall, relapse, and suffer just as much as the coin of the addict enabler tumbles down the path to safety, security, and to sanity, or to destruction and demise. This is not an easy path, and unfortunately, many of us don't even know we're on it. The same way people can't admit they're addicts, the flip side can't admit they're enablers. They can only admit that they are showing love. In fact, the way addiction chooses to use love as a pawn in a game is the most complex part, and I would argue the most painful. Because love can be blindfolded and led astray by emotion, the darkness captures it to mold and manipulate, and uses it as the form of attachment to the enabler, making the connection complete. Officially one and the same, ready to head out to sea. I used to be an enabler, so when I help and witness others in the same position, it brings up a lot. I recognize the patterns, the pain, and the potential for good outcomes and for bad. I recognize the stubbornness of not wanting to be judged and the denial that isn't ready to get clean. There is a reason that there is specific therapy for those who love and live with an addict. There is a reason that we need to seek help from others when it comes to addiction and domestic abuse. We become a part of the addict, the abuser, and of the darkness. At the same time that we recognize that we can only rely on ourselves, we can recognize that we may need a guiding light to lead us to shore. I hope that those who are living with addiction, enabling, and abuse can find it in themselves to get the help they need to save themselves, to become a beacon of light for others stuck in the same manipulative darkness. I hope even one moment of clarity can shift the eyes of the enabler to have them realize they may have drifted out to sea, and they will do whatever it takes to get home. I hope that this message allows people to see that only when we truly save ourselves can we be a helping hand to others as they find their way back to shore. If you or someone you know is suffering from addiction, enabling, or abuse, please contact your local substance abuse or domestic violence hotline. Please know you are not alone and that it is not just the addict or alcoholic that suffers from addiction, and that there is help for each of you out there. Programs like Alateen and Nar-Anon, along with many others, are designed to help those that worry and care for someone with a drug or alcohol problem. Because trust me, it's not just the addict or the alcoholic that needs support. Sending love to those who understand this. All too well.